Mosjøen, a Norwegian town on the edge of the Arctic Circle. It doesn't always look this cold. Every summer, the people of Mosjøen put on a pageant depicting stories from the town's early days. They use the 19th century waterfront terrace of Mosjøen's Skjegata district as a backdrop. It's a history they are proud of, but one that was almost lost. Back in the 1970s, the mayor and the local council wanted to turn Skjegata into a parking lot. A small group of people led a campaign to stop them.
Well, behind us here is a building that seems very small and insignificant, but this is in fact where it all started.
Mosjøen lies in the valley of the river Vesen and is dominated by the town's aluminium plant, powered by hydroelectricity generated from Norway's mountain rivers. In the shadow of the plant, the old quarter of Skjegata, built mainly in the 1860s, when Mosjøen was prized not for its metal, but for wood, exported across the North Sea to England. Today, Hans Pedersen is director of museums for Helgeland in northern Norway.
Here, Skjegata preservation area starts.
In the early 70s, Hans was curator of the local museum in Mosjøen. Pedersen says their concern was as much about the welfare of the community as of the buildings. The museum has an exhibition detailing the struggle with the council to save Skjegata. It singles out Mayor Albertsjord, seen here on the left, and Kjell Jackobsen on the right, as representing the two sides of the debate. By the late 1960s, Skjegata was in a state, little better than a slum. The modernizing mayor and his council wanted to remove the eyesore. This picture details the Skjegata waterfront as it is today. The mayor's plan was to remove the majority of the buildings to make way for a car park.
They paved paradise, put up a parking lot.
But the late 60s were a time for radical thought and action among students in Europe. Kjell Jackobsen was a student in Norway's capital, Oslo, at the time. When he returned to Mosjøen, he didn't like what the mayor and the council planned to do in the Skjegata neighborhood.
Put up a parking lot.
You see the older generation, such as my good enemy, the mayor, he knew a lot about the history of the town. He knew a lot, but he didn't want to make use of it, to say so. I think it is important to be aware of the past, our heritage. You have to know things. If you do not know it, you're just speaking in the light air.